I was amazed that Minneapolis being the home base, and they actually had Denver, Colorado as part of their territory. Winnipeg, Canada as part of their territory. Chicago, co-promotion with the Bruiser, part of their territory. All the way down to Nebraska, Fargo, North Dakota. My God, it was so spread out. It was just phenomenal. And it was probably the most successful territory because of the immense size and the large cities, that it was just, you know, and once I got over, which was very quickly I got over, I started flying, because there were trips 400 miles one way from Minneapolis to Fargo, North Dakota. I just couldn't do that and still train and maintain a physique that I wanted to maintain. I just couldn't do those hours, so I just started flying to all the cities that I could fly to, and it was a tax write-off anyway, part of your write-off. Vern Gagne paid exceptionally well and was known for his payoffs. He was known to take care of his wrestlers, and he paid exceptionally well. And really, it was compared to other territories, there was no question that he was probably the best payoff man in professional wrestling at that time.
So,
very generous.
Of course, Vern Gagne was the owner and one of the big stars of the AWA.
I wouldn't call him a star.
No.
I personally would not call Vern Gagne, no personal offense to Vern Gagne or his family, son Greg, whom I think the world of, but I would have not called Vern Gagne a star when you had a Ray Stevens there and people like that, Nick Bockwinkel and the Crusher. The Crusher was a star. The Crusher mesmerized people. Okay, I would just not call him a star in that sense of the word. I would call him over, yes, respected, yes. I respected the man, you know, everybody respected the man, and he was an excellent wrestler, but I would not consider him a star. I just wouldn't.
So you don't think he was one of the main actual draws?
No, I do not believe that if it was up to him to draw all the houses and all the money, it would have never been the success it was. Never. If he would have been the sole money drawer of that territory. The Von Raschkes, Ray Stevens, the Crushers, the Bruisers coming into Chicago, places like that, never. Not on his own. Wahoo McDaniel and myself, people like that, no, never.
And you did have some matches with Vern during your stay in the AWA.
Yes. Horrible matches, in my opinion. He was such a technical wrestler, and that was a great thing. I mean, I think he went to the Olympics. I don't know. You may know. You're a historian of wrestling, but I found that his style of wrestling did not fit my style of wrestling compared to a Wahoo McDaniel, for instance, a wild Indian type character who was a fighter and a brawler, and who he and I personally set attendance records in many venues across that territory after we did an arm wrestling angle on television. And Wahoo put my arm down, I picked up the table, crushed him over the head with the table, and he bladed, and we did the angle, and that thing was so hot. We got the first sellout in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 12,000 people in Green Bay, Wisconsin to see me and Wahoo wrestle each other. That was the hottest angle ever in that territory, and Vern Gagne could have never done it.
Now, Wahoo was a very intense wrestler. What was it like wrestling him?
Yes.
It's kind of not the style you're used to.
Wrestling with Wahoo was a pleasure, and it was a nightmare wrestling Vern Gagne because of Vern's technical skills, insisting on wrestling technically, but then you had Wahoo McDaniel, who was a fighter and a brawler and a wild, basically Indian type image that they gave him, and who would fight tooth and nail and bite and claw if he had to. in the match and hit you with chairs and choke you with microphone cords and kick and stomp and fight, which was my style and which made us just blend and just gel so perfectly compared to a Vern Gagne technical skill that just completely threw me off, and I regretted every time I was booked, which wasn't very often because our matches just didn't work and people didn't enjoy the matches.